I wish I could play for you guys that famous clip. I've played it on Rising before. Last time I played it, though, listeners complained because it's all in Chinese. But it's a Chinese professor basically being like, we know how to work the America.
Yes.
You Hunter Biden, you know what was going on there? He literally does this in terms of joking about paying these people off. And just look at how the Post frames this. Let's put this up there on the screen from the reporter, Matt Visor, who actually covered Biden on the campaign trail. The audacity. Thousands of emails purportedly from the laptop computer of Hunter Biden are authentic.
Oh, really?
That can be verified through cryptographic signatures.
Oh my gosh, I'm so surprised.
Shut up, cryptographic signatures. If it's fake, then they can say so. And guess what? It's been 2 years, and they never said anything. Matt was literally on the campaign trail with Biden. And if I sound angry, it is because, Krystal, you and I spent months talking and dissecting this. Are we huge fans of Trump? No. But we understood the utility of telling people the truth at the time. Go ahead and put my tweet up there on the screen. I was enraged about this yesterday. That Hunter Biden report is 2 years late. The details of the Hunter connection to China's CEFC, they've been there since September of 2020. I went back and actually watched some of our coverage from that exact date. I put my monologue there, which is, it was all out there for the entire world to see. The Senate Intelligence Report gave us all of the details. And actually, media, if you're interested, he also got a wire transfer for millions of dollars from the richest woman in all of Russia. So I know Russia, skepticism is hot right now. That's a good story for all of you. I've already talked about it. I mean, the details of these bank transactions, of the CEFC, of Rosemont Seneca Partners, which is old business, of his BFR holdings, I can go on forever. I mean, it's amazing to me the way that these people conduct themselves. They give him a complete pass. They even had the gall to report, Hunter says that he's no longer involved in his Chinese company. Oh, but as I know, and as anybody who can read a securities filings know, he owns 10%.
Yeah.
So if you're no longer involved, but you still own something, do you not still have a direct financial stake in a Chinese private equity giant, which, by the way, also financed some of the technology in order to imprison Uyghurs in China? This gets no scrutiny. We've gone through all of the details. If anybody wants, they can go back 2 years ago, watch all the coverage that we did on Rising. From the very beginning, 2019 onward, all of the details of Hunter's business dealings have been out there. And it is personally infuriating to me to watch these people rediscover this all in real time.
James Biden shouldn't get a pass here either, because, and that's the other thing, is this isn't like a new pattern of behavior. From the beginning, 50 years ago, with Biden's senatorial career, there were these sorts of trading on his name and improper financial relationships swirling around him with his family. So this is like next level kind of stuff when you're dealing with the Chinese government and when you're dealing with Ukraine and all of these things. But this type of pattern of corruption has been there from the beginning. I wanted to read to you a little bit from that Washington Post piece that's like, oh, now we've authenticated some of the emails, how they frame it. Because remember, even though now we've got the New York Times and the Washington Post admitting, because the Biden Justice Department has validated and they're using the contents of this laptop, they've now admitted, okay, it's probably, okay, it's authentic. But here's how they frame it, and I think in an attempt to get out of having to issue any sort of apology for the past complete dismissal of the laptop. They say, many Republicans have portrayed this data as offering evidence of misbehavior by Hunter Biden that implicated his father in scandal, while Democrats have dismissed it as probable disinformation, perhaps pushed by Russian operatives acting in a well-documented effort to undermine Biden. Then they go on. The Washington Post forensic findings are unlikely to resolve that debate, offering instead only the limited revelation that some of the data on the portable drive appears to be authentic. So even in this piece where they're saying, yeah, guys, it's real, they're still trying to say, well, we don't really know. The Republicans say this, the Democrats say that. We can't really tell, so we'll just let you decide.
Here's what's better. I just found Washington Post from the day that I did that monologue. Here's what they wrote. GOP's Hunter Biden report doesn't back up Trump's actual conspiracy theory or anything close to it, except your own paper just validated that conspiracy theory. And look, I understand that when Trump touches something, it's annoying for him to be on the same side. But guess what? That's how the truth works sometimes, especially when you're in the media. And I'll never forget this moment from the presidential debate when Trump specifically pressed him on Hunter's dealings, Biden, and Biden said that the report, which has now been validated, has been, quote, totally discredited. We know for a fact now, even by the MSM standards, that he lied during that debate. Let's take a listen.
And he didn't have a job until you became vice president. Once you became vice president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow, and various other places.
True.
He made a fortune.
My son.
And he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
But why was he given tens of millions of dollars?
But he wasn't given tens of millions of dollars. That is totally discredited.
We've already been
totally discredited.
Totally discredited. It's not totally discredited. I just read you the proof from the Washington Post even, and it was true the day that he said it. And he lied to all of our faces. Did Trump lie to us? Yeah. Did he lie about his corruption with Saudi Arabia and with foreign leaders staying in his hotel? Yeah. Is Jared corrupt as Hunter? Yeah, maybe more so, to be honest. That doesn't mean...
And in a much more influential position of power, too.
Does that mean that it's okay when Hunter does it? No, it doesn't. Corruption is bad.
Yeah.
Cared about it from the day I came to D.C. and saw it all around us in the way it shapes the world that you have to live in at home. So that's where my righteous indignation comes from. We covered this and did our best to treat it sensitively at the time. And we're like, look, that doesn't mean that gives Trump a pass, but this is a real thing.
I think that...
And nobody was honest about it.
I think the most important part here is that for all their resources and reporters around the globe and, the editorial, just how large their operations are, the mainstream is just not that good at their job because they're too ideologically blind to be able to actually tell the truth in a way that is honest and fair and timely. So I think that's, maybe the most important thing to take away from all of this is that they just aren't particularly good at doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's not because they're not smart people or capable people or that they don't have the resources. It's because of their ideological blindness that leads them to, just completely fail and whiff on stories like this. The other thing that I was trying to remember when Elizabeth Warren, so her campaign in the primary, she was making this big push on anti-corruption and she just launched this big anti-corruption thing.
I do remember this.
And then she got
$10 million ad buy.
Yeah, big ad buy, and she was like, this was her thing. And then she got pressed on Biden corruption and she had no idea what to say because she was so... She really had deluded herself into thinking that, even if I don't win, maybe I can be vice president. And so, she had nothing to say about it. Bernie had nothing to say about it. The media completely protected him. And it did him no favors because if this had all been hashed out during the election, then, okay, it's not really a story anymore. The voters got to have the information. They got to make up their minds. And I'll tell you, in all likelihood, he's still president of the United States. But because it wasn't dealt with at the time, now this hangs over him. This huge scandal hangs over him like a cloud that is unresolved at a time of, national peril and incredible global crisis.
Yeah, it's really just so completely infuriating.
Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.